to Cellar Dive episode number 19 of
Brutal Battle. It has been a little bit since we did a Cellar Dive, and to be honest, we're starting to get low on Cellar beers.
Yeah.
So there may be a point where we just can't do this anymore.
It's just going to have to be like beers in the fridge.
Yeah, or just like beers we have.
Yeah.
Although I don't think we should call it that as an episode.
It's not that enticing, but...
No, not at all. People would see that on iTunes and be like, beers we have. I have beers as well. Skip. No, but, I mean, one of the beers here is not really from the cellar, but it's a cellarable beer. So, yeah. The final one, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Rebecca was just pointing to it.
Oh, the other three we did pull out of the cellar.
Yes, the other three are pretty old, actually, and one of them is not date coded, so I don't know how old it is. I think that is the oldest one, though.
This one?
Yeah, the third one. Yeah, so like usual, Rebecca picked 2. I picked 2. I think we need to compete again. I think we need to go back to being like, this is kind of a competition, and whoever picked the best 2 is the winner, and whoever picked the worst 2 is not. So what are we going to wager? There should be a wager.
There's a wager?
Oh, if we're betting on it, like, we got to make this, like, high stakes.
I don't like that. Just bragging rights is enough.
I don't like the bragging rights. How about whoever loses has to feed the cat on the weekend both days for one weekend?
Fine.
That's a good wager, right?
Okay.
Because, just to explain to people are like, what do you mean? Cats eat whenever.
Not our cat.
Yeah, most cats do, yes. Our cat, she needs to stay on her schedule. Otherwise, she'll end up eating too fast eventually. She throws up, and then she's not eating at all, and it's just this whole problem. So we do get up early on the weekends as well, just like during the week, to feed her, and then we just go back to bed. So it's always a hassle. We usually split it 1 and 1 each weekend. So we have done this before where we wager on something. Like the loser has to get her both days on the weekend. So that's what's on the line. So something to be rooting for.
So
or not to not
So
do.
you have to be try to be very impartial on this then.
No, I know. I'll be fair about it.
Okay.
I'll definitely be fair about it.
I know I'm not even going to like your beers though.
Yeah, but you have to be realistic about are they good or not. You know what I mean?
I'll see.
I mean, come on. It's just like, right now when we're recording, it's in December, so Rebecca's watching a lot of Christmas movies. It's just like the fact that when I watch some Christmas movies with you, I don't like it because I don't want to watch Christmas movies necessarily, but if I happen to watch one with you that I'm like, that wasn't that bad for a Christmas movie. So you need to be able in this instance to be like that was actually good for a sour, even though I'm not interested in it. So that's the impartiality. Okay. So we're going to start off with one of your beers. You may introduce it.
So it is Oak Aged Vanilla Worldwide Stout by Dogfish Head. It's in a 12-ounce bottle. It says ages well on it.
I mean, our experience with their higher ABV beers is they do age well. And we had that one a year or 2 ago. Another one of those, and it was still really good.
And we don't... Oh, there it is.
There's a date code. It's like 4.5 years in the bottle.
2017?
Yeah, so it's like 4.5 years in the bottle when we're doing it right now. I have a feeling this will still be good.
Should still be good.
This could actually still be amazing. I
just hope the vanilla hasn't fallen out.
I know. Yeah, that's always a danger with these beers. Okay, I'll pour you a little bit. Oh, what did you say the ABV was?
I was just going to say, I didn't say.
Okay. I thought maybe you didn't, but I want to make sure.
I don't know if I saw it on there.
I don't see... It's got to be on here, though. Oh, it may have been on the 4-pack that it was on. Can you look it up on your phone? Do you have your phone? On Untapped? Because it'll be on Untapped. I think it's around like 12 or something, is my guess. Yeah. Well, I pour myself some. And let's be honest, it just looks, it looks like an Imperial Stout. Do you need me to pour you a little more, maybe?
Yes, you were a little skimpy.
I know, I was. Well, I don't, this is higher ABV. I didn't want to make you commit to something that you weren't necessarily going to drink all of before our next beer. This isn't a race. We're not trying to get hammered. We're trying to evaluate these beers, see how well they've aged, basically. So, I feel like this is 12 something per ABV wise, but I'm going to start looking at it.
16?
Are you serious?
Bourbon? Oh, this isn't bourbon barrel oak aged. This isn't bourbon barrel. This
is the oak aged vanilla. Oak aged vanilla worldwide stout from 2017. We should have checked into it at some point. Well, I mean, we have checked into it.
17.5.
Okay, even higher. Even higher. Okay, well, I mean, that makes sense, though, because as I'm swirling it up, it's really sticking to the sides of the glass. Like, really sticking.
It smells really good, though.
So, it does smell good.
That barrel. There's a little olive in there, though.
There is a little olive, which, I hate the olive smell, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be in the flavor. In fact, I'm really hoping that it's not in the flavor.
Whenever you pick out the olive, I normally don't pick it out, but I really get it in
strong.
this. It's very strong.
Yeah, the olive is strong. There's a bit of an astringency coming off of it. But there's a decent chocolate to it and a roastiness. Nice roastiness.
The wood is really nice. Mm-hmm. It's like not too much.
It's really woody. But the more I smell it, like it starts to really get dominated by that olive and the astringency. It's like they're teaming up in the worst way possible.
My first sniff was like, oh, this smells good. And then as soon as I hit that olive, I was like, ugh.
I mean, that'll turn a nose for you. High hopes. Let's go.
Still tastes pretty good. That's nice.
Ooh.
It's very smooth.
Yeah, it's a lot smoother than you would assume, especially based off the smell. There is a bit of an astringency, but it's not as much as you would think based off of the nose.
It's definitely not as boozy as I thought it was going to be. And I'm getting some of the vanilla.
And you said 17.5, so... Yeah, I actually am getting some vanilla, too. I'm getting a decent amount of that wood that you said was smelling really nice on the nose. A lot of nice roastiness on the finish. Like, it's after there's nothing left in your mouth, it's just the residual flavors in there. A lot of wood... A lot of roast and a very nice bitter dark chocolate. This is still holding up well.
Yeah,
it really is.
It tastes good.
It's still dangerous. At 17.5, it is still dangerous, in my opinion. I really like that roast on the finish.
Yeah, it's tasty.
Like, it's almost a little coffee roast, but not quite, because when it starts to get to the point of being like a coffee roast, then it rolls into that bitter dark chocolate. It's good. Ooh, my throat's getting
starting
really
to burn.
Warm. My throat's getting really warm right now. Really warm right now.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily taste the 17.5, but I feel it going down. So there is that.
Yeah, you can definitely tell it's boozy.
Yeah. Ooh. Woo. And honestly, when you take like a bigger swig of it, because I did like to finish off what was in my glass, the alcohol hits you harder, and the bitterness hits you harder. I'm glad I didn't taste the olive. That was very, very good. I was very worried about that one.
Yeah, it's in the nose, but like as you're drinking it and going back into the glass to drink it, it doesn't hit you.
Right.
As much.
I'm impressed that there is...
kind of get acclimated to it.
Yeah. I'm impressed that there is still some vanilla.
Yeah.
Because like you were saying, you were worried that it wouldn't be there anymore. But yeah,
it probably was more intense when it was fresher. But
oh, no, it definitely was. I remember. And the last time we had it, like I said, maybe 2 years ago, there was definitely more vanilla in it then. But it's still good. Mm-hmm. Still enjoy it. So the next one is my first one, and this was on the podcast when it was fresh. This was courtesy of Nathan and Erica Klasnick, who it's been a while since they've been on here. They had gone down to visit Nathan's family in South Carolina and went to Westbrook Brewing Company and brought us back this, which is a bourbon barrel-aged Oud Brune. This is part of their Barrel Room Reserve series. Now, this bourbon barrel-aged Oud Brune is a sour brown aged 2 years in bourbon barrels. And this particular beer has been in the bottle for 6 years at this point. So 2 years in the bourbon barrels, then bottled. Now an extra 6 years sitting in this bottle. And it's 8% alcohol. It's in a 22-ounce bottle, and we will see if it held up well. I remember when we had this when it was fresh, and it was really good. Like, the sourness with, like, the bourbon notes was awesome. I remember that. So, hopefully it's still pretty awesome. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Amount-wise? I'm excited for this. I'm really excited for this. Please don't let me down. And I'm going to be particularly bummed if it didn't hold up well, because it was really awesome when it was fresh.
It's stinky.
Rebecca's face looks bad. Is it like an acetone?
It's like sauerkraut.
Oh, no. I mean, like, it's like a sour.
I think it smells like sauerkraut.
Okay. I see where you can be pulling a sauerkraut type. I don't think it's quite like that. I do think the brown ale aspect of it really puts a malty sweetness in there as well.
I mean, I'm definitely getting the malty sweetness. I'm getting the sour.
I get the bourbon.
Yeah, I do get the bourbon. I
get a lot of wood. There's a lot of wood coming through.
I just can't get past what I perceive as sauerkraut, though.
Here's the thing. As my first few sniffs, it is very sour. Then when I keep sniffing, a lot more of those darker notes are coming through, like that kind of sweet, malty roastiness from being a brown and the wood. Those start to come through, and it just kind of like takes the sourness down nose-wise for me. So it's starting to smell more balanced.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a pencil shaving note, which I assume is coming from the wood. I've smelled that in sours before, though. So yeah. I think it smells good, to be honest. I really do. Ready to go in.
It's very light.
It is not nearly as sour as you would think based off the nose. Wow. There is a sourness to it, but it's not intense.
No, it's very mild. Like, all the flavors are very muted.
It just makes it easy. It's a little sweet. It's actually a decent amount sweet on the finish.
I mean, definitely, it's building my saliva up, and it's making me pucker.
Yeah. There's a lot of wood in the flavor. But I like it.
Tart. Like some good tartness. Yeah,
not sour, more tart. I get a little bit of that pencil shaving, like I said I was getting in the nose. I get a lot of straight up like oak to it from the bourbon barrel. I get a little kiss of the actual, well, more than a kiss of the actual bourbon. There's a little bit of like a caramelly in there with some, distinct just other bourbon spirit flavors. And the sourness. So you get like a bit of like that lemony sour.
Yeah.
Somewhat in the beginning, but then it kind of goes more to like a, when you get like a kind of underripe plum and it's kind of tart.
Okay.
I kind of feel like I get that.
I can see that.
I like this. I think it's still good. I think it held up really well. And as I continue to sip it, I feel like the bourbon's coming through more, which is even better for this beer.
It's okay. I don't love it.
Gonna be honest. I like it more than the Worldwides.
Okay.
I do. I assume you don't.
I don't. I feel like we're going to be tied.
But here's the thing. The fact that this is 6 years in the bottle and it's still tasting this good kind of blows my mind.
Yeah.
I was very much prepared for it to kind of suck.
Oh, really?
At this point, yeah. Well, I mean, it was one of those things where, like, expect it to suck, but be hopeful that it won't. One of those ordeals.
Well, you never know.
That's how I approach it. But no, it's still good. Really going to enjoy drinking more of this. I'm down with it. Mm-hmm. All right, now that we're rinsed, beer number 3 is Rebecca's last entry in this, also in a 22 ounce.
Yeah. So this is the one we're kind of like, Okay, this is by DuClaw Brewing Company. It is their Double Naked Fish, a bourbon barrel-aged imperial chocolate raspberry stout. It's 8.1%.
Yeah, and this is the one we don't know how old it is.
It's old, though.
It's got to be older than the Westbrook. I mean, this is like 7, 8 years in the bottle, probably. Oh, actually, you know what? Look it up on Untappd real quick and see if... Because I don't think they've done it. Other than when we got this bottle, I don't think they did it again. And also, I would have checked into it because I think we had it fresh. So you could at least probably see my check-in date. Double Naked Fish by DuClaw. You would probably want to put it in DuClaw and then Double Naked Fish. But, okay. Opening it up. I'll pour it while you look for that. And then we should have an actual accurate date on it. Untapped is a solid resource, you guys. It is. As much as it gets complained about here and there. It's a solid resource. Now,
I'm guessing 2017.
Oh, really?
Or 2016.
Why? What are you saying? It was done both years? Is that what you're saying?
I can't tell.
Here, hand me the phone. Because I can just search under... Here's the thing. All right, you start looking at it and talking about it, and I'll let you know.
Okay. Well, it looks like a stout. Another very muted nose.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I checked in 2017, February. So at this point, it's 4.5 years, basically. It's about the same as the oak-aged worldwide stout. Okay. So this is not as old as I thought.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. So
I'm getting like some roasty, some chocolatey. I think the raspberry is completely fallen out. I'm not getting raspberry at all.
Does it smell a little mapley to you for some reason?
No, it just smells... It doesn't smell like particularly good.
No. It just smells kind of like murky, muddy.
Yeah.
I get chocolatey to it, though.
Right, that's what I said.
It's like murky, muddy chocolate.
Are you getting any bourbon barrel? I'm not.
I mean, I do feel like I get a slight vanilla. A slight vanilla. I get a slight caramel to it. It's not strong on the bourbon on the nose.
Nothing's really strong on the nose.
I do feel like there's a low-level, indescribable fruitiness. Like, I can't pin it down. Like, there's a fruitiness. I don't know what fruitiness. I don't know. It doesn't smell the best.
This is not good. It tastes like nothing.
It's very thin.
Yeah.
It is very thin.
This did not age well.
It
just tastes like a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of malt, water.
So there is a fruity to it. It's very low level, and it tastes artificial.
Well, Naked Fish, from what I remember, was a little artificially.
Wasn't it done with, like, raspberry-flavored coffee beans? I think that's initially what Naked Fish was, is it was done with those coffee beans. Does it say anything about that on here? Let me see. Well, no, it says stout brewed with coffee, aged in bourbon barrels, natural flavors added. Yeah, so there's not any actual raspberry in there. It's raspberry flavoring when it was put in. So what little bit you're getting tastes artificially because it is artificial.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they said natural flavors.
They said natural, yeah. I don't like it.
I do taste the wood from the barrel coming through. There's just not a lot of flavor. Like, everything is so low level. Yeah. And the fact that it's double Naked Fish and it's so thin is crazy.
Time was not kind for this beer.
When I take a bigger sip, though, I do get like a coffee roast in there, but it's not like it's good coffee.
I don't need to have more of that.
It's like dookie coffee flavor.
Yeah. I don't like it at all.
Well, I'll read you what it says on here you should be getting out of the for the flavor notes. It says, this full-bodied stout boasts a lush blend of chocolate and raspberry notes from gourmet coffee and cocoa nibs, and accents of vanilla, caramelized sugar, and charred wood. I'm getting more of the charred wood than anything. Charred wood from bourbon barrel aging. Yeah.
I'm sure it was very good when it was fresh.
Okay, so I remember when we had this, and I didn't really like it that much. You did. You did, but I didn't.
I don't like it now. I think you're going to win this competition.
Oh, why? Do you think that my last beer is going to be amazing or something?
Well, one of my beers was a total stinker.
Yeah, it was.
So, unless your last one is a stinker, which I know it's not going to be.
Well, and here's another thing. I picked sours, both sours for this. Why is that, Rebecca?
Because it's the only way you were going to get me to drink them.
Mm-hmm. So maybe we just need to keep doing these cellar dives so that I can keep getting Rebecca to actually drink sours with me.
This last beer, he's been trying to get me to drink, and I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to.
I've been trying to get you to drink this for months. And here's the thing. I have a feeling that you're going to like it.
I might.
I have a feeling you're going to like it because it is by Sapwood Cellars.
I just feel like I have to be in the right mood.
Well, is now the mood?
I don't have a choice.
Is you losing this the mood? So this is Sapwood Cellars, their Fellow Feeling. It is a sour ale aged in oak barrels with grapes and black currants added. 8.9% alcohol. And this is like a 500 milliliter bottle, so it's not quite 750. I do like, I'm not going to read any of the flavor notes right now, but I do like that they put some information on the back of this. They say, brewed October to December of 2019, bottled in May 19th of 2021.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so in the bottle, it's not quite a year for us. It's like half a year, basically. Bottle count, 768. Final pH, 3.09. Cellar, 3 years, they say on here. They tell you cellar it up to 3 years. But hey, we're going to try it. Fresh. Which is not common for us with these episodes. Oh, no carbonation at all when I open that up. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Plenty
color.
Of carbonation while I'm pouring it, though.
It's a pretty color.
Yeah. I assumed it would be. I've been really enjoying when we have some of Sapwood's sours. We've had a few that we really fell in love with. There was like a gin, I think we talked about it. There was like a gin barrel-aged pale sour, I believe. And then there was, most recently, it was like blueberry and raspberry sour. That was awesome. So like blueberry and raspberry. It was so fruity and nice. But yeah, this is like a nice deep red.
Mm-hmm. Like pretty like ruby.
Yeah, you can kind of see through it. I mean, it's not hazy or anything. Like, you can see through it. It's just the color makes it a little bit harder because it's such a deep color. Decent amount of bubbles hanging out on the top, and it's a mixture of small, medium, and large.
Very fruity. I wouldn't be able to pick out what fruit it is.
It's very funky.
It is funky.
It's got a lot of funky to it. Which, I'm all in for that. And that pencil shaving that I was saying that I was getting from some of the other beers, I'm getting it even more in this. It's very pronounced.
Some lemony tartness.
I'm going to say this, and I hope this doesn't ruin it for you. Band-Aid. There's a Band-Aid smell. Isn't there? It smells kind of like Band-Aids a little bit. It smells decent, though. I'm ready to go in. Let's do this. It's very light.
It is very light. A
lot lighter than I was assuming it would be. Lots of tannins hitting my tongue immediately.
There's something in it I don't like.
It's that kind of Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a little medicinal.
Yeah, which I think that's kind of coming along with that funkiness to it. Like, it tastes like kind of Brettanomyces.
Yeah.
Which I know you're not big on Brettanomyces in the first place. So maybe that's part of the problem. It does, doesn't it? I think I saw something on here about, I don't know. I thought at some point I saw that it said something about, like, the degrees that it should be consumed at, but no, that was wrong. So, it's what and what? Black currants. Okay. I think it's leaning more into the grapes. Like, the grapes are a lot more present in the actual flavor than the black currants are. And for that reason, like I was saying, there's a lot of tannins hitting your tongue immediately. So it's giving it that kind of like, sorry if you hear the cat, she always has to make her presence known. She's scratching stuff that she's allowed to, though. But anyway, like that tannin, it's just like, it's this kind of like cloying bitterness. If anyone knows, like the skin of red grapes is where a lot of tannins come from. You can also get it from the wood of barrels, and mostly people know it experience-wise from like those little strips that come off the peel on bananas when you eat those. Like that kind of like drying bitterness that you get is tannins. So there's a lot of that showing up in this, and it's very red wine. It's very red wine.
I will say, out of all the Sapwood sours I've had, I don't. This is one of the lower ranking ones for me.
I agree with that. I really do, especially because that Band-Aid note doesn't go away.
Yeah,
it's very present. It just does not go away. It's weird.
Yeah,
like. I like funky. I like Brett perception, but sometimes it goes too far. And with this one, it's gone too far. It's very Band-Aidy, and that's not really tasting great. And with that kind of Band-Aidy note being combined with so many tannins, it's not great. This is kind of a wah-wah to me.
Wah-wah.
Wah-wah. I don't know. So we both... I mean, it doesn't suck as much as a double naked fish. Yeah. That's for sure. I think the Westbrook's really good. I think the oak aged vanilla worldwide stout's quite good. I mean, this might actually kind of...
Is this a tie?
Yeah, I was going to say it might kind of be a tie.
This is my ranking.
Okay, so go ahead and... Well, there are some tasting notes on this fellow feeling, so I do want to read that real quick. And we'll see how far off we feel it is. This sour blends 2 beers with 2 fruits, malty red and amber sour ales, join forces to balance the intensity of red wine grapes, Pinot Noir and Cab Franc.
Okay.
Makes sense. And black currants. The grapes provide a vinous backdrop for the potent cassis aromatics. The balance is firmly acidic with a drying finish.
Not overly dry.
I think there's a decent dryness that I think is being paired up a lot with those tannins. Acidic, a little bit. It's not nearly as acidic as I would assume reading that. I don't hate it, but I don't really love it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's kind of this in-betweener. Just that Band-Aid is tough, man. It's really tough to get around that. Yeah. This is... probably my least favorite sour I've had from them, honestly. I should have picked the other one. We have another Sapwood sour that's like a sour pale with pear juice. Should I just open that now? As like a bonus? And it's not like one of my entries.
If you want to.
Okay. I want to do that. Because we're definitely dumping these last 2. Like, we just can't. But also, is this a tie? I kind of feel like it's a tie. I'm going to go get the other one. Why don't you just go ahead and...
share my rankings?
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 4 is the Double Naked Fish, the Bourbon Barrel Aged Imperial Chocolate Raspberry Stout. My number 3 is the Fellow Feeling by Sapwood Cellar, which is the sour ale aged in oak barrels with grapes and black currants added. My number 2 is the Bourbon Barrel Aged Oud Brun, which is the sour brown ale aged 2 years in bourbon barrels by Westbrook Brewing Company. And my number 1 is the oak aged vanilla worldwide stout by Dogfish Head.
So I'm not going to go through all that for mine, but mine's the same as hers for the bottom 2, but switching the Westbrook and the Dogfish Head. So the Westbrook's my number 1, and then Dogfish Head's number 2. But those are pretty close in my opinion.
Okay.
Hence, I do think it's a tie. Man, I feel bummed. I feel bummed about that fellow feeling because, you know, I've been trying to get you to drink it so much that it's kind of just been hyped up for myself. You know what I mean? But hopefully we're going to right the ship right here because I pulled out the other Sapwood sour we have called Pearlized. And this is a pale sour ale with Asian pear juice added, and it's 6.4%.
So if it's pear juice, it should be very fruity.
Yeah, I would think so. This one's from... When did we... okay. Brewed 9/19 of 2019. Bottled 1/12 of 2021. Final pH 3.34. Cellar 3 years. It's the same. Bottle count 576. So this is another 500 milliliter bottle. So Let's see if this is better. Let's get some redemption here from this last sour, because that was rough.
Okay. It's very clear. Very light, very clear yellow. Look how clear that is. You can just see right through it.
Now, keep in mind, this is colder than we would normally be drinking it, since I pulled it right out of the fridge. So we'll just kind of have to apply that when we're getting the nose in this and the taste.
Isn't it so clear?
It's beautifully clear. It's very yellow. It looks like a nice, like, Chardonnay. You know, like that deeper yellow color that you get from an oak-aged white. Yeah, it very much looks like that. Beautiful.
It smells good.
Has that mixture of the large, medium, and small bubbles just hanging out on top. It smells barnyardy a little bit.
I think it smells good. I'm getting a little I'm getting a little popcorn.
Yeah.
Are you getting popcorn?
It is a little popcorny. I hope that's not diacetyl. It doesn't smell buttery to me. It just smells a little barnyardy, honestly. And funky.
A little funky, a little lemony sour, definitely a little tart.
It smells a little corn-like.
I could see that.
It's weird. I'm going to be honest. It smells like a weird fart. Like
a weird fart?
It just kind of smells like a weird fart.
Well, that doesn't sound very appetizing.
No, there's just some weird nose there. I think it's because of the funkiness doing some odd stuff to the beer notes. But
I like this. I don't think I could pick out pear.
Ooh, it was very easy, very tasty. Yeah. Wow.
I couldn't pick out pear, but because I know it's there, it's very pear forward, very juicy, a little sweetness, a little tartness.
This reminds me of a not very aggressive Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
It's very, like, nice acidic white wine, which would take me to a Sauvignon Blanc. But Sauvignon Blancs are they have a little more hit of acid.
Yeah, a little snappy.
To them. This is a little bit less than that. This is a very nice wine. Tastes like a wine, but it's a very nice sour beer. Yeah, I really like this. This is a great redemption from the fellow feeling.
I know we were getting like some funkiness on the nose. I'm not getting a lot of funkiness in the taste. It's just more like...
It's very slight.
It's very just tart.
It does have like it almost has an apple juice to it.
Yeah.
But since it's pear, like you know it's different.
Yeah.
That's tasty. So it has a decent sweetness to it. It has a decent acidic tart kick to it. Mm-hmm. So and it's clean and it's refreshing and it's light on the mouthfeel. It's very tasty and a little bit of funkiness. Just a little funky.
This would be my number one if I had to re-rank these.
This would also be my number one if I had to re-rank them. This is very nice. I like this a lot. That's very...
So if you would have put this in, you probably would have won.
No, I definitely would have won if I put this in because it would have been the Westbrook and the Pearlized, and I would have won.
Well,
that's rough. I was on the fence, but then I went with the fellow feeling because I was like, oh, I feel like Rebecca would be more into the grapes and currants as opposed to the pear. I was wrong. I chose wrong.
Because I think I would have picked the pear one because that pear cider that they did, the Jonah and Ida are a pear, was so tasty.
Oh, yeah. That's so true. That was really good. This is awesome. I love this.
Yeah, I do too.
I love this a lot. Okay, well, bonus beer. Bonus beer that just got added on. I like when we do that. It's like a spontaneous... It's like we had too many that suck, which was 2 of them kind of. And so we're like, we gotta have a makeup. So let's do it. Plus it helps helps get stuff out of the fridge too. So that's good.
Yeah. Because
we have more beers coming from Sapwood because...
Just put an order in.
Yeah, we did a pre-order because they had some really awesome stuff coming up, which... I mean, they always have awesome stuff coming up, but like it's particularly more awesome this time. So anyway, thank you everyone for listening to this. Really do appreciate it. Hopefully you liked a return to these cellar dives. We will do more at some point. Send us emails if you want to, just to say hi, give us ideas for new episodes, or tell us certain episodes that you really want us to do more of, or tell us certain beers you might want us to have on, or brewery showcases, any of that stuff. BrutalBattlePodcast@gmail.com. Instagram.
Brutal Battle Podcast.
And that's our main social media. Other than Untapped, I'm Carlin Cook, or Carlin C.
I'm Rebecca C.
And rate us and review us on iTunes or whatever podcatcher you use. We appreciate that help because it helps, get more visibility out there. Also, word of mouth. Word of mouth is a big thing. If you want back episodes, the website, brutalbattle.com, but don't judge us too harshly on how bad the website looks. It's just there to host the RSS feed, to get the podcast to the podcatchers, basically. We don't put a lot of work into it. So you can get back episodes there, or archive.org, just search Brutal Battle. But other than that, I think that's all the stuff. Really do appreciate everyone listening to it. I'm excited to finish this Pearlized.
Yeah, me too.
And until next time,
keep it brutal.
I feel so